So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, most fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel and you just found me, thank you so much for being here, and I hope that this reading resonates with you guys, and I hope you guys stay and subscribe, share, like, comment on the videos that you resonate with. For those of you guys who are returning, I'm so grateful, so blessed, and I love you guys very much. I can't wait to get into your reading. Today's reading will be a pick a card reading. Before we get into the 4 options to choose from, I do want to let you guys know that I will be closing all private readings for the month of March, returning again on the back end of March to April, okay? But if you're wanting a private reading, I would suggest you do it from now till February 26th, as I will be closing my booking site on February 26th. And if you're wanting a discount, enter code LOVE22222. That's 5 2s. Okay, LOVE 22222 in the coupon code and receive 22% off of all your readings, all jewelry. It's site-wide, and it's first come, first serve. So if I'm booked, then unfortunately I will have to close that option for you guys until I return in April. Okay, so beautiful people, these are the decks I'll be using for today's reading. I'll put a link right here for those of you guys who are interested in charging these cards for future readings energetically, or if you're just a tarot reader or a collector of the tarot and oracle packs, then you might want to go check out that playlist. And let's get into the 4 options. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. I'll hold these up shortly, and I'll put a timestamp below. And what we're asking Spirit here is about your higher self coming through with a message for you in regards to your current situation, circumstance, guidance, advice, and maybe some confirmation regarding something maybe that you're working through. And your higher self is wanting to pull through with an immediate right here, right now message for you. All my readings are timeless unless otherwise stated, which means whenever you come across that video, the message was meant to find you, as long as it obviously resonates for you. Okay, so it is an immediate right here, right now message that you're needing to hear regarding your current state of affairs going on with you. Okay, so sometimes I tap into energy around you, which means it's not your direct energy. It could be somebody you're dealing with, so apply it accordingly. Okay, it could be an aspect of your higher self, it could be an aspect of your subconscious self or your unconscious self, it could be an aspect in regards to a current situation or circumstance in the 3D that you're consciously aware of that you're working through. I don't know what we'll see, and I'll do my best to explain how the energy feels. It's up to you to apply it, okay, but don't force it. And of course, not all readings are going to resonate for 100% of the people, okay, but the overall energy in that pile should match or resonate with the energy that you're resonating with, okay? So I will see you guys at the deck selection. All right, so the 4 options we have to choose from for today's reading. I have pre-shuffled oracle cards for each of these. I've not looked at them. And I ask Spirit to deliver for all of you guys from your higher self, what you're needing to hear right here, right now, an immediate message regarding your situation, circumstance, or confirmation, whatever it is you're needing to hear. Okay, so for option number 1, we have the Rainbow Heart Tarot. Option number 2, we have the Storyteller's Tarot. Say that really fast, 5 times. Option number 3, we have the Ancestral Path Tarot. Option number 4, we have the Clarity Tarot. Listen to that intuition. It's going to pull you to whichever piles you're drawn to. Okay, it's absolutely fine to be drawn to all piles. Just listen to your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, then go check out another pile. Okay, sometimes all the times, energy is interconnected. So we could be looking at situations, circumstances, energetically around you, and then your own energy in different piles. People, if you're dealing with multiple people, we could get different perspectives and different angles from anyone that's involved energetically with you. Okay, I don't select from a Rolodex who I'm going to see and why. All I'm going to do is read that energy, and then it's up to you to go apply it to person, place, thing. Okay, but don't force it to fit. I'll leave this with you guys. I'll put the timestamps down below. And for those of you guys who skipped the intro, there's a discount right now on all private readings. Everything off my website. I'll put the information below. prairievintagejewelry.com. Save 22% if you enter in the code LOVE22222 right now till the end of February 26th, actually. And I will be closing that for the month of March. Okay, so I'll leave this with you guys, and I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, pile number 1. You guys picked the 4th edition of the Rainbow Hearts Tarot, and we're going to be pulling 3 cards or more, if they come out as more, from this deck, and then the pre-shuffled oracle cards. And really what we're asking Spirit is to deliver a message from your higher self. Okay, so this message is coming from your higher self in regards to your current situation, circumstance, guidance, or what you need to know right here, right now, an immediate message. Okay, this could be confirmation. It could be, guidance and advice regarding how to handle your situation, whatever it is your high self wants to communicate. So, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 1. Please protect me and the viewer and their journey. As I channel this message for the greatest and highest good, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank your higher self and your Spirit's team, my higher self and my Spirit guides, and of course, Spirit, for this act of divination today. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, pile number 1. What energy is going on right here, right now regarding pile 1 and what they need to know? And 1 more. Okay, 2 more. Like I said, sometimes more pulls through. Okay, let's put these cards out first, okay? So we have the Ceridwen. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I think it's Ceridwen, the Initiator. Now I have 3 decks here that I don't regularly use, so we might have to read from the book to take a look at what the creator sort of wants us to interpret the cards, but I do read them intuitively, okay? So if we need to, we might have to go there. So we have 16. To you, the earth yields her fruit, buying and selling. Interesting. Here, I don't know if you guys saw, we have a hare and it looks like a flying chicken and a fish. I mean, chickens do sort of fly, but I don't know how high those chickens go. Okay, so we have Tender Embrace 22. Interesting, which is bringing me to my message. If you guys are interested in a private reading for the month of February, I will be offering 22% off if you skip the intro. Okay, enter code LOVE22222 for 22% off. So 22 is a master number. Okay, it's divinely guided relationships, diplomacy, peacemaker, healthy, energetic boundaries. Here it says Tender Embrace. You see 2 elephants. Okay, and then we have the card of 18, Master Your Reality. More elephant energy there in the center. So 16, is Chariot and Tower energy. Okay, and 18 is Moon and Hermit energy. So we have some Virgo and some Cancer and some, more Cancer here. Okay, we also have 6. So Gemini and Capricorn and 4, which is some Scorpio and some Aries energy. Okay, we have the throat chakra. I had to write on these because the chakras color in this book don't match the actual chakras. And this one, it happened to be that the blue did match, but all the cards are a little wonky in this deck. So we have 38 with unity in the throat. And that's the number 11, which is another master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. And then we have against the grain with the number 4. So another 4 here. Okay, 4 is all about structure, foundation, stability, planning. I'm going to cover her butt with this card, and it's a connection card. It says, embrace new experiences and create lasting memories through shared activities. Shared adventures weave lasting memories, strengthening our bond, bringing me to this card right here. Okay, quite a bit pulling through energetically through your reading. I will flip these cards over as well. So we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy, and we have the Knight of Swords in reverse, and we have Justice, Libra energy, and we have the King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. All right, let me sit here with this energy, with a message from your higher self. And you guys can click on the timestamp to go straight away to your channeled message. I'm going to read this one actually, because there might be a message here for us. So, Serdwin, the initiator. I don't think it's there. I think it's here. It says, in the old Welsh story of the enchantress, Ceridwen, she chases Gwion Bach, a young boy who has consumed 3 drops of potion from her cauldron of inspiration, a potion which she herself brewed and which she intended for her son. Her long pursuit of the boy makes it possible for him to discover and draw on new knowledge that he's acquired in order to shapeshift to try to escape her. But the dark goddess cannot be eluded. Finally, after submitting him to tests of his newly acquired prowess, Ceridwen catches Gwion Bach, swallows him up, and rebirths him as Taliesin, who became the greatest of all prophets and bards. The story of Ceridwen presents the cauldron as a symbolic womb, the source of rebirth and transformation. She's the keeper of the cauldron, and her story reflects the role of women in our native mythologies as the source of life and creative power. To drink from Ceridwen's cauldron of inspiration then is an initiation, the beginning of a long and difficult rite of passage and of the metamorphosis which inevitably must follow. Ceridwen reminds us that as a consequence of even the most challenging initiations, there is a possibility of great renewal. Have courage, drink from the cauldron of inspiration, even if you don't quite believe that the potion is meant for you, and even if you don't yet know the nature of the transformation it will require for you. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, beautiful pile number 1. There's a lot that comes through your reading here that's very clear. Okay, and then there's some questions that I still have here that might come through as I channel. And then we'll pull some of the essential oil oracle cards for some guidance at the end if there's any question regarding why we're seeing a lot of this stuff. Okay, so your higher self is acknowledging that you're on a difficult journey. It feels difficult for you because I feel like it might feel as though nothing is sort of jiving, and there's a lot more questions than there are answers here. And it's like we might feel like if something isn't flowing, or if something isn't making sense, or if something's not clear, or if something doesn't feel good, that it's not, that it might not be meant for us, or that we shouldn't be experiencing it, or that we should be elsewhere. And your higher self is saying, no, you're right where you need to be. And this experience that you're having here, there's acknowledgement that it is difficult because it feels like at times like nothing is jiving. And it might feel as though you might even feel like you're sort of, everything's sort of coming at you and nothing's really siding with you or flowing with you. And so it might even feel like almost like an energy of, if it feels too heavy and conflicting, then maybe I shouldn't be here and I should retreat, kind of an energy. But in fact, your higher self is saying no. And I know we always give the message, what's for you shouldn't be heavy, it should flow, which is absolutely true. But I feel like right now we're being guided through a difficult experience. Okay, that is in order for you to connect to a certain part of self here. That's it's like an initiation here. And how to get there is to stretch yourself beyond, I guess, any sort of capacity where you might feel like you've had limitations or restrictions or understandings. So your higher self is talking about a pre-programmed understanding of self that you've carried. And this has allowed you to interact in your world to a certain degree. Okay, and maybe it provided a lot of comfort or clarity or even an understanding of who you thought that you were. And your higher self is coming through here saying that there is a version of you that's coming online here, okay, so that you can connect with people, situations, circumstance, relationships, and environments that are more aligned with your truer self. But your truer self must be adapted or adopted, I guess, okay? Because I do feel like there is a part of you that seems to retreat from certain things here that are your higher self is saying that you should be experiencing in order for you to make certain reflections and realizations about yourself. And also there's like this need for you to really decide what's for you, what feels good for you, not what you were sort of programmed to think or brought up to think. But there's this, I don't know, there's like your past and its influence over you. Okay, so this could be the way you were brought up, like I said, or just certain experiences that you had that sort of made you understand yourself in a way. And it's allowed you to experience and navigate in the world in a certain way. And your higher self is saying there's another world that's outside of this that allows you to have a broader experience of what is for you and what you can give and offer to the world. And so it's like your offering to this world is bigger, and what you're meaning to receive from this world is bigger than that in which you're currently giving. And so there is a need for you to see all that there is, and even if it feels like something that is putting you out of your comfort zone or feeling like it's uncomfortable in the present moment because it doesn't match your story or your understanding of your past self. Okay, so I do feel like there is karmic experiences. Maybe you're having a lot of karmic relationships or karmic people or karmic circumstances that are coming through. That's like, I can't understand right now, what the purpose of this is, or I don't really fully know how I'm supposed to be managing. And we might even, like I said, like retreat back into the old way of thinking, or we might shut down, or we might just fall back into our comfort zone. And so your higher self is saying that in order for you to go through this initiation process, there is a need to sort of trust the experiences that you're having, even if they feel like they are challenging you, because you are put in a position here that can, like confront and deal with these things. And also a need to connect to a greater part of yourself, because I do feel like there is a part of yourself that's been sacrificed in order to maybe get along or to play small or to fill a role. There's like a deeper sense of purpose here that wants to come online. And so this could be like real deep, fulfilling relationships that you've never experienced, and you're being guided to experience that in this lifetime. And your higher self is saying maybe it's like your divine purpose here, instead of committing to or falling short in some area of your world and not exploring depths of something that speaks to your soul in a creative way. There seems to be something that's very transactional in your world. And I don't know if it could be all of the above, relationships, your creative projects, maybe where you invest a lot of your time, maybe your career, or just your everyday experiences here. And so there is this shakeup, or feeling tower energy pulling through an existing established structure. And this could just be your own internal world of how you understood yourself to be, to your 3D reality and what you've already built. But towers are never really comfortable when we're going through them in that moment, because we might feel like we don't have a footing and we can't really hold on to anything, because I do feel like there might be a lot of fleeting things here, and we could be very much wanting to remain fixed in our world or understanding of what feels comfortable or what feels solid. But at the same time, what feels solid might be the obstacle getting in the way of growth. And so this is why this is happening. And your higher self is saying this is initiation process. Things are happening in divine timing. You are being guided through each of these experiences, and we might feel like we're not there yet. And that's what I was getting, for those of you guys who sat with the card layout, the chicken with the wings, because chickens don't really, soar and fly super high. I mean, they sort of flap around low to the ground. I feel like there's been, if you want to call it playing small, or just being very much focused on the 3D world, or there's a greater experience for you to have. Okay, but we're just plunging in the depths of our soul through these uncomfortable experiences, really, and they don't always have to be uncomfortable. Well, they're uncomfortable, but I don't feel as though they're threatening in any way. I just feel like they're putting us outside of our comfort zone, and we might even feel like we don't have the resources or the backing like we might have used to, or the world that we depended on just doesn't seem to be there, supporting us or propping us up or keeping us safe in some way. I feel like there is a message of you maybe really falling back on an old version of you, for comfort. And there's nothing wrong with falling back on comfort, but I do feel like when it restricts our ability to for growth, then spirit gets involved here. And this is why, I do feel like inner child is pulling through here. So there could be a part of your inner child that's calling out to experience certain things. Now, I can't help but see in this thing, and I know that's not what it is, but it's definitely what it looks like. On this elephant's head, it looks like a swastika. Okay, now, swastikas aren't necessarily a bad thing up until, what happened with the war. But I feel like there's you might want to look up the original meaning of the swastika here. But I feel like what it's giving me is really this fixed understanding that was ingrained. Okay, and what is right or what is acceptable for you, what is accepted by society, maybe what's accepted by your family, or just your own understanding of what you're capable of. And I do feel it's, like I say, is this transactional experience. And so you could go your whole life sort of experiencing these transactional relationships or experiences, and so the higher self is saying, I want you to plunge the depths of yourself so that you gain a good understanding fully of everything you're capable of. Because if you have a purpose to create, then I want you to create. If your purpose is to experience a divine connection, with someone here, then this is meaning to meet on a deeper level than you are able to love or give love. Okay. And so I do feel like there might have to even be like forgiving something of the past. So maybe you've had experiences that were unpleasant, like past relationships or a rough childhood or a parental figure, or maybe even outcast from society at some point in time. And so maybe this has developed your way to cope, or how you might like to create some comfort in your stability or structure because of an experience of the past. And so it might be understanding or revealing this to you. It's like, why do we stick to these rights and wrongs or these understandings that we have? Where did it originate from? And why is it, what did it create in my world? Is it hindering me? Because I feel like it could be hindering you from dealing with certain energies that with perseverance or exploration, you might find the gold, you might find what's for you, you might find more, okay, than just challenge there or discomfort. And so, yeah, I do feel like there's a purpose here. And so maybe your big question has been, why? Why am I experiencing this? Why is it so difficult? And what is the truth behind all of this experience? And can I trust where I'm being led? Or am I supposed to sort of do something here to shut out or block out or avoid or not deal with certain things? And then I won't have to experience it. And Spirit is saying through your higher self that everything that's put in front of you right now is the divine initiation here for you to experience something, even if it's concluding that that experience was unpleasant. Okay. But it's really like encouraging you to keep going through this period of time to find your truest expression, not through program, okay, or an understanding you've held just because it was handed to you as this is who you are and this is what you'll do, okay, until you believed it so much and then you started making choices in your world that were really around that, because that's not necessarily true. And so I feel like there's a lot of fear, okay, when it comes to the unknown and exploring certain things that might put you out of your comfort zone, only because it's like, what if it's not for me, or it's I have to let go of certain things that maybe you're wanting to have in your world. And your higher self says, when you allow yourself to be fluid, when you allow yourself to follow your truth, it allows you to have more deep, fulfilling experiences overall. Okay, and so it's going from transactional experience to real deep, meaningful connections. And we have to experience sort of the dark or the challenge in order to really know what the light is and the beauty of a deep connection is, Otherwise, we wouldn't know what we're sort of missing out on here. And so your higher self is saying you're not alone. People who are coming into your world are very much karmically put in front of you for this experience. Okay, and so let's take a look at guidance from your higher self to your current situation here. Spirit, for pile 1, can we ask pile 1's higher self for some guidance regarding what they need to hear right here, right now? Guidance and whatever it is that pile 1 is needing to hear about their current situation, circumstance, that's going to help them navigate their energy, their mindset, their situation, or their understanding about their current circumstance. So we have tension, a release. So the trigger statement, I have nothing left. The true statement, I nurture myself. Dear one, it is time to settle, create a sacred space where you can be. In that place of rest, healing will unfold. So there did seem to be, again, I'm getting a lot of this energy from this elephant that's sort of hugging this inner child, or this mother with a child. It's giving a very sort of safe embrace here. Okay, I feel like when we're clinging to comforts, when we're clinging to things of the past that we understood, again, the rights, the wrongs, who I'm supposed to be, I feel this is what's creating the tension. This is what's creating a feeling like you're going against the grain, because it's like, I'm really going against the program. I'm really going against, feeling like I'm going against it, but it's like this release is needing to happen, this ability to flow. Okay, so it's really about allowing yourself to flow. And throughout this process, this is how the healing happens. It's like we're healing something of past beliefs, past understandings, okay, that's make us sort of act guarded in a way that allows only for transactional experiences. Again, it's like a fear of getting too deep or being exposed, or like allowing oneself to just plunge the depths of something, without any life preserves or something like this. So let's see, what is the guidance and the advice for pile number 1 from their higher self here? And we have topical, harmony. Trigger statement, I am boiling over. The true statement, I allow myself to feel. Give yourself space to decompress and take time to nurture your body, mind, and spirit. Allow emotions to surface and release. So release coming through twice. I do feel there's like a 4 pentacle type energy that's happening here, But I feel it's coming through like, I don't know that you're hanging on to something, but energetically it feels like a hanging on to a story that allows us to avoid, or allows us to remain in a certain way for longer than we need to be. And so I feel like there's a need to allow that version of you to go, so that the new version of you can master what is going on in front of you and be in the present moment to create the harmony. Because right now I feel like against the grain feels uncomfortable, It feels like the universe is against you, resistance, things aren't flowing. It doesn't feel like the people are supporting you. It just feels like it's you against the world. And it feels very heavy and conflicted. But that's that hanging on to and not releasing the understanding we have of the version of us that we think provides the comfort, or that we think is going to, like be where we're needing to put more energy. It's like, no, the new version of you, you're being assured here by your higher self, is more aligned with your authentic self, is more balanced. Okay, and this process will heal whatever you're needing to heal from this understanding. Okay, because I do feel with all this elephant energy, there's like a lot of past experiences and also this abundance that could be experienced in this present moment. Okay, but we have to be present to experience abundance, and we have to be fluid. Okay, so we have Siberian fir with acceptance. Trigger statement, we must remember. That's this elephant energy. We must remember. Okay, with the trigger statement, but the true statement is, I am free of the habits that do not serve me. Siberian fir. So lay down the armor passed down to you from your family. Release habits that are not serving you and forgive on behalf of generations of the past. So remember what I was telling you, pile 1, about this need for forgiving of something that's happened in the past. This is talking about handed down from your family. This is releasing habits, things that don't serve you. Okay, it's a way of engagement here that has kept us sort of repeating certain experiences, you know, very transactional again. And so if you're asking, like, why can't I experience a deep, profound love? Or why do things seem sort of meaningless or like without purpose? Or they just feel like they're not fulfilling here, you know, but at the same time, it's like all that we've known. And so there's this greater experience that wants to pull through here, you know, but the way that you can engage here is to release what it is that your understanding is about who you are and who you have to be and how you have to engage. Okay, so pile one's higher self. What is the guidance and the message here? So we have beautiful acceptance. Okay, and when we accept things, we're sort of like water. We go with the flow. We can release. We're not fighting against. Okay, the Douglas fir. And it says resolution, trigger statement. The past haunts me. The true statement. In this moment, I am free. Let yourself be the one to heal the wounds passed down from your ancestors. The release and growth begins with you. So yeah, again, this Hierophant energy of, well, like I said, if it's not the ancestors so much, it could be societal. It could be just experiences that have molded this understanding, you know? And it's like, I don't know if some of you guys, I don't feel like you're aware of its impact or its influence in your current decision making in your world, you know, but this trigger statement says this past haunts me. And so maybe some of you guys do have an awareness that an experience of the past is something that's been very hard to shake off, you know, but Spirit wants you to know here through your higher self that in this moment, in this body that you're in your room or in your house or in your work, wherever you are listening to this, in your car, right here, right now in your body, exactly as you are safe, you are free. There is nothing here that ties you to the past except for a belief and an understanding that you carry in your mind, okay, in your mind that doesn't need to be there, that is actually not even there. Okay, it's not there aside from the activity of or thinking of it. And so your freedom relies on you releasing this story, this attachment to this understanding that you have, because it's limiting your freedom. It's limiting the depths of your connection and even your ability to connect deep within yourself. Okay, we'll pull one more card here, but there's a lot here about, you know, the past really impacting your current present moment. Okay, so we have women's soften. The trigger statement, I take control. The true statement, I am compassionate. So this against the grain is trying to control situations. Okay, Four Pentacles is definitely a controlling card, even though it's stuck. It's like a need to hang on or an inability to allow oneself to flow. Okay, the true statement, I am compassionate. So take a moment and allow yourself to see things from your heart center. From that place, allow your intuition to guide you. So remember I said water is important. So water would be intuition, going with the flow, allowing oneself to be guided. You know, not a need to control and resist. And I feel like there is this avoidance energy around anything that maybe makes you feel like it pushes you towards an uncomfortable experience, you know? And that is also a form of controlling situation, is like, I won't deal with it, or I'll avoid it, or I won't sit with it. And so there's this sitting with what is, okay? This, or is it master your reality? I feel like there's a real present experience in front of you, and it is very real, and it is asking you to engage with it, to dance with it, not to control it, not to infuse it with anything other than what is happening. And so we might have to release a lot of what we're trying to bring into the present moment, you know, and of course you want harmony. And so maybe this is your drivers, like, I want harmony, and so I'm going to force my will my way, or what I think is going to create stability here. And it's like, no, you're not creating the stability. Stability is going to be a result of you flowing, you allowing, you accepting, you releasing. Okay, this is when stability happens, because maybe you feel like you need some ground to step on, you know? It's like, I feel secure and safe when I'm stable and grounded. And of course you would, but this experience requires the more fluid, intuitive energy that sort of goes with the flow. And so instead of being rigid, and there's a need to soften, okay, and there's a need to just detach oneself from past experience, okay, in order to be in this present moment. This is all about being in the present moment with what is, okay? And so your higher self is calling for more balance, and it is talking about you seeing what you're needing to see, okay, through allowing yourself to emotionally dive into whatever comes through. So if you're sitting there and emotions come through, allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to be guided, even if there is no real understanding logically. Okay, but intuitively, if you're guided to do whatever you're being called to do, listen to that intuition, allow yourself to flow, and those situations are going to reveal to you the truth of what you need to see here. Okay, so pile number 1, this is your reading from your higher self. I hope this helped you. And if you're called to another pile, then I will see you there. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked the Storyteller's Tarot. And for those of you guys who skipped the intro, there is a special promo on my website. I'll leave the information below at prairievintagejewelry.com. Save 22% off of all your private readings. Everything store-wide, including jewelry, if you enter in the code LOVE22222. That's 5 2s, LOVE 22222. All right. Like I said, I'll put the information below. So we're looking at your higher self coming through with the communication regarding what you need to hear right here, right now. Okay, regarding your situation, circumstance, and this could be confirmation about something, could be direct guidance, whatever you're needing to hear. Okay, we'll ask Spirit for a clear and concise message from your higher self for pile number 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for being here. I'd like to thank your higher self, my higher self, our Spirit team, and of course, Spirit for this act of divination today. Thank you so much, Spirit. Pile number 2, what they're needing to hear right here, right now, energetically, what's going on in their world. I feel one more. Okay. And we have pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at these. We'll lay these down and channel what we need to. There's 3 decks here that I don't use regularly, so we might have to refer to the book, okay, maybe, to see what pulls through here before I channel it intuitively. So we have Ellen with the Pathmaker and Guide, number 7. Beautiful. I'm getting heavy High Priestess energy from that. And then we have Spirit of Gratitude, 43. Wow. So now we have 7-7. Okay, 77 is a master number. Trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom. Trust of life, trust of self. Okay, 7s are all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding, spirituality, personal growth, metaphysics, intellect. You guys might be a life path 7 here. Okay, thoughtful, intuitive. Yeah, so we have a lot of Cancer energy pulling through. And then we have Service, 38. Okay, number 11. So 11 is also master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. I don't know if I got to cover this up. I'm going to be a rebel and not. But look at the Cancer energy we're seeing here. That's a Cancer in your reading pulling through here. Very strong. Okay, Service. I'm also getting some Virgo energy with Service. Okay, and then we have Play, number 8, with the Sacral. And so this deck, okay, the colors at the bottom are the chakras, but the colors don't correspond, all the cards, to the chakras, so I had to write on it. So this is the Sacral. So 8 is all about movement, change, attainment. Okay, it's about authority, manifestation, leadership, abundance, and goals. This is Play. So it's giving me Strength card in the tarot, although this elephant has this lion has an elephant trunk. Some of you guys might have been drawn to pile number 1. Okay, if you were, then take this as a confirmation. There could be a message there for you. Okay, we have inner trust with the number 2. So remember that 77, trust of self, was pulling through. Okay, trust of life, trust of self. So inner trust. 2s are all about balance, duality, choices. Okay, it's also 2 is high priestess energy, which I was feeling from this. It was Pisces energy and some Cancer energy pulling through. Okay, so 15. The earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. So we got play coming through twice. Interesting. And clothes. So 15 is the card of the devil. Devil could symbolize ego. 8 is my ego number in the tarot. Okay, the strength card here. So we have some Capricorn, some Leo, some Aquarius, and some Libra, Pisces here. Okay, and some Gemini as well. So clothes could definitely symbolize our ego. Okay, because it's like the appearance, our appearance on the outside. Hair for me also symbolizes the ego. Okay, so these 2 are sort of together. We got the Queen of, oops, I'm going to cover her up because she is exposed. It says, make real progress by pushing aside perfection and never looking back. So the Queen of Scepters is the Queen of Wands. Okay, so we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then we have the 9 of Cups, and it is in reverse, or the 9 of Hearts in this deck. It is a genie lamp. Make real progress by pushing aside perfection and never looking back. Okay, and then we have the 6 of Scepters, which is the 6 of Wands in reverse. So 6 of Wands for me is my ego card. In the reverse could be an ego death or an ego blow or something to do with our image. Okay, so let's see. And then the 5 of Cups here. Okay, or 5 of Hearts with this horse, but it's a wooden horse. And it's giving me Helen of Troy. Again, the outside, because it fooled the Trojans, I believe, when there was threats inside this horse. Okay, and then the horse was sort of brought into the village there. So it's like the clothes, the outside appearance seems one way. Okay, let me really sit with your energy here because there's a lot of meanings that are coming through here. And also this inner trust. Okay, pile number 2. I feel in this pile there's a beating up of yourself, through a real understanding that you're carrying that you don't really necessarily need to carry. And that's the cause of your suffering here. Okay, there's like an understanding that you have. And you're being guided throughout an experience here that allows you to see through what is real. Okay, real is in like what truly matters, and what sort of comes and goes is sort of an experience that doesn't dictate who you are or what you're about. Okay, because I do feel like you might have experienced or could be experiencing feeling either like you're losing out on something, or there's some experience that you're wanting to have that hasn't panned out in a way here. Like you almost feel like you're not being called to the plate here in a way that you want to be. It's like I feel like I'm not truly seen for who I am and what I'm about and what I could do. And so we feel at the mercy of our 3D world of what we've experienced. But your higher self is coming through saying you're not your experiences. Yes, you have those experiences, but there's a truer light within you. Okay, there's the truer self that sits within that goes through these experiences, and the experience could be high and low, could be successful, or could not pan out and appear to be like a failure. But all of these experiences are just accumulation of activity, and they all sort of sit on the same vibration. They do not create the version of who you truly are within that, because within that is your true light. Within that is the true self. Okay. And so I feel like Spirit wants you to go through experiences that might seem for you right now, if you believe that you are your experience and you believe that you are your outer self. Okay. You might be taking it really, really serious, and that used to bug me when people were like, don't take it so serious, lighten up or whatever. It's like, well, if it matters to you, it's sort of serious. But really, your higher self is saying all of what you're experiencing is actually not serious. It's just an experience here. And specifically now. Okay, specifically now. And so when we see through the truth, we start to actually see that everything that we might have, everything that was a cause of our suffering was because we were very fixed with an idea or understanding of what that meant, what that meant for me and what that means to me. And we put a lot of weight in our successes and how others perceive us and our victories and that sort of thing. But that's the dream world. And so your higher self is coming through saying that you're being guided. Okay, you're definitely being guided to see the truth. And so this might mean that you might have to experience disappointments, or you might have to experience things that maybe you'd rather not have to experience, because as long as we believe we're the ego, we are uncomfortable. We are clinging to certain things in order to have certain outcomes or certain desires for certain outcomes that, we're envisioning for ourselves. And so we might resist or refuse allowing things to be and unfold because we feel very tied to certain understandings. And so I feel like there is a lot of this feeling, I don't know if you feel rejected or just not seen or not appreciated, or like whatever search situation you had, it's like it's disappointing. It's making me feel like I'm losing out, or like I'm lacking something, and you're not. And so Spirit is coming through with your high self saying, beneath that experience, there's the version of you that cannot be tarnished, the version of you that is wanting to come online here, the inner truth of who you truly are. And this version of you can go unseen and unnoticed. And the only way it could is if we buy into the illusion, and we buy into the ego, and we buy into what it appears to be. And so if you're going through an experience in the 3D world that doesn't feel very good, your higher self is acknowledging this and is saying, in order for you to really move beyond that feeling and that experience, is really having a deeper understanding and the gratitude for the deeper meaning of who you are and what you're about and the truer light. And this service, I feel, is calling you to move beyond this understanding in order for you to deliver a different version of you here, okay, like here on earth. Because I feel like once you move beyond this understanding of who you think you are based on what others are sort of projecting onto you, okay, as long as you're sort of there, I feel like Spirit is saying you'll be sort of trapped in this disappointment and this inability to move beyond the 3D understanding that, by the way, like I said, just comes and goes, and it's not truly who you are. And so you're sort of at the mercy of that. And Spirit wants you to know that you're actually not at the mercy of your surroundings, that you're actually much deeper than that, that there is a core of who you are that is to be of service here in the 3D plane. But the only way to get there is to break out of this thing. Okay. And so that's what you're being guided to do here. And so we experience things that don't feel very pleasant. And we might even feel like I said, like we're taking the loss, like it's a loss of us, or like it's a personal loss. You know, like we've lost a part of us, or like it speaks to my value or my worthiness or my capability or and it doesn't. Okay. But I mean, I could be blue in the face telling you it doesn't. And either you could believe it or not believe it. And I feel like your higher self is saying you believe in this understanding. You really do. That you are what you do, and that you are what others say to you, or what others, if others celebrate you, or if others see you, or like your appearance, and like what impacts you're going to have. And it's like, no, you're none of those things. You know, you really aren't any of those things. And so the true happiness comes online here when you connect to the inner core of who you are, because I do feel like your journey specifically is all about trust, which allows you to be more authentic and vulnerable here. Okay. Trusting in a way that opens you up in a way that you haven't been able to. Okay. Because I do feel like maybe you're waiting for the outside world to show you something, so then you can open up, so then you can be a certain way. And it's actually reverse here. Okay. It's saying, be that in which you already are, and your outside world will shift and change, because otherwise you're just waiting for an outside world that's forever like an influx. Some days they'll reflect back to you something good, and other days it's going to reflect to you back something that you don't want to see. And as long as you believe you're that outside world, you'll be sitting on a pivot of good, highs, lows, bad, and everything in between. And so the outside world, you need to see through the illusion of it. Now, is it actually happening? It's happening, okay, but it's not fixed, and it's transient in energy, meaning it's always morphing and changing. And that which morphs and changes is not the ultimate truth of what cannot be changed, and what is forever, and what is constant. Okay, so whatever is infinite is the truth, like your inner light. And that is what your higher self wants you to connect with, because then you'll find the core, and then you'll be able to come out and be of service and know when to be of service and when to be of play. But you're not sort of fluctuating here based on your outside circumstances. So I feel like there's a lot of ego sitting here, you know, a lot. And that ego creates the mask, and that mask is what you're wearing. And so you're wearing a version of you right now in this world that is trying to attain an outside world experience. And your higher self is saying, as long as you have the mask, and then that outside world is catering an influx to that mask. And so it is always going to result in disappointment. It's always going to result in you never feeling like you're truly being seen, because you're not allowing yourself to be truly intimate and open and vulnerable. When the mask falls, and when we're truly just open, then we're seen for who we are. And there's a lot of fear in that, because it's like, if I'm seen for who I am, what if I'm not approved of or accepted, or, you know, but that is the mask and the egoic self that needs approval, that needs validation, that needs others to reflect back to oneself, one's value. Once you connect to it, Spirit is saying that this world becomes an easy place for you to be able to engage more lightly, for you to be able to always feel valued and seen, because you'll always feel valued and seen because you're seeing and acknowledging your inner light. And so everything you're bringing and magnetizing towards you is in that vibration. Okay, because there's a higher purpose here of service, like I said, that you're supposed to be sort of delivering here. And I feel like instead of delivering this purpose, we're too wrapped up in what am I energetically feeling from this outside world? What is it reflecting back to me? And I feel like a lot of the times we're experiencing negative energy, like it's not seeing me, it's not appreciating me, I'm not winning, it's not making me feel victorious, it's making me feel disappointed, I feel emotionally not satisfied, I feel not seen or understood, and that sort of an energy. And so this is really requiring you to flip this script, okay? But how would it start is like those neurons in your brain that fire back to that sort of understanding are needing to move beyond that understanding and first look at all the things that you can be grateful for, okay? Because I feel the default is what am I unhappy about? What is it out there that's not reflecting back to me what I want it to? And so we're really like focused on what's not working and what is leaving us feeling like disappointed. And so we see more things to be disappointed about. And so big message here from the high self. There's a need to be truthful without the mask of the ego and vulnerable. And then we experience what it is that you're wanting to experience, not the other way around. Your outside world isn't going to adjust first, and then it's going to allow you to experience something wonderful and magical. And so don't wait for the outside world to validate you and appreciate you and see you for who you are. It's like see yourself and connect to it. Okay, there's this real strong need for you to connect to yourself first. Okay, that's where you're really being guided. And this make real progress by pushing aside perfection and never looking back. It could be that, again, it's like we have an understanding of how we have to appear or what others should make me feel about myself. That has to get dissolved. Okay, so with all the 7 energy we were feeling, that's Tower energy. That's the deconstruction of the false self. The Queen of Wands wears a mask. The 6 of Wands is an ego death. Okay, the horse, like I said, what's hidden inside here, the inner trust, is not visible because the mask, it's hidden. The clothes we're wearing here. And so the devil is the ego, the shadow. Okay, all of this stuff is sort of coming together here as a protective mechanism that you might be using here in order to get what it is that you feel you're needing and wanting. And everyone should wants to feel emotionally happy and appreciated and seen. So it's not what you want that's the challenge. You want emotional satisfaction. You want to be seen and appreciated. You want to be valued. You want to have success. Okay, and your higher self is saying how you're going about it is what's creating the opposite here. And because you're going about it with the false self and then trying to like develop this thing, that the true self can then engage with. And it's like, no, the true self must be online first. Okay, but again, like this play, like I was talking about, is like, if we're very serious about what we're experiencing, but we're also in this like masked up version, it creates suffering. Because the masked version isn't the authentic truth, and the experience we have isn't the ultimate truth, because it's just form happening, transitioning and shifting. And so we can't cling to anything like this. If you cling to anything that changes form, there's suffering. And so I feel like there's a need to be pliable, a need to allow the false to fall, a need to develop and cultivate from within the strength and the clarity and the acceptance. And then the outside world will form to that. Okay, I hope this is making sense, because there's no other way that I can explain this thing. But let's see, from pile 2's higher self, advice, guidance here. For pile 2, what is the guidance and the advice for pile 2 at this time? It's immediate right here, right now message for pile 2. What are they needing to know? Guidance for pile 2. Oops, that one went flying at me. It says black pepper. Integrates. Trigger statement. I am trapped. I'm feeling trapped in this horse. Okay, that's because the false mask is on. Okay, so true statement. I am whole. Allow the parts of yourself you hide to make themselves known. In the light, you will see the wisdom they hold. So maybe there's a deeper reason why we feel we can't be vulnerable. Like I said, the need to just allow oneself to be exposed. You know, it's like if I'm not seen, appreciated, or celebrated by other, then I don't feel whole. And then I feel like I'm not seen. And it's like integrate the version of you, the real, the true, the honest version of you into your world. Okay? Like be that in which you are already within you, because then your outside world will start to develop differently. But I feel like you feel stuck or trapped in your current energy, feeling less than, feeling incomplete, feeling, like the outside world's reflecting a version of you that you're not liking. You're not victim of that situation or circumstance, whatever you're seeing out there. Again, that's that illusion, and you could believe an illusion, and if you believe the illusion to be true, you suffer. If I believe very strongly and I'm believing that my arm is missing, and I believe it in my mind, I'm going to create all sorts of suffering, but my arm could still be here. And so in your mind, you could create all sorts of suffering. And I feel this is what you're doing. There's a story, and it's really an illusion. Some version of you, okay, that you're thinking is you. So receptivity. Trigger statement, I am guarded. Okay, I am trapped. Again, guarded. There's this shell around you with the false self or the mask. Okay, this is monthly. The true statement is my heart is open. That's that sacral, opening up, being vulnerable, trusting. Okay, this is time for you to receive new information. Open your heart to receive it. So, guarded. And we could really be like, for some of you guys, you could be lacking confidence in just being seen and trusting in people. It's like trusting your situation, your circumstance, being seen. It's like that others would have your back, or that others could, be reflecting back to you a state of something that would be making you happy here. Okay, but I feel like if you're wanting to experience that, your true version, your authentic self must be connected to, like the inner trust must be connected to, in order for you to experience this in the outside world. Okay, so comforting. Consolidation. Interesting, because we have integrate is sort of similar here. So trigger statement, I cannot go on. True statement, my heart is light. Please hold space for the feelings you have. Honor them and be with them. Your burden will be lightened. So, yeah, I feel like there is a disappointment here with this 5 of Cups and this 9 of Cups in reverse. Even the 6 of Wands in reverse. It's like, I feel so disappointed. I feel so, like part of me is sort of unavailable to me, but spirits, it just keeps coming through with their high self, talking about connecting to the openness of the heart. Okay, my heart is open, my heart is light. The sacral, which you really could talk about being vulnerable and trusting our experience and our situation, others around us, in a way here that doesn't automatically default to the mask or the guard or the story. Okay, because I feel like there's a defaulting back to some thing that you're believing to be true. So let's see. Spirit, for pile 2's higher self, what is their guidance and their advice right here, right now? So we have juniper berry, projection. Trigger statement, my mind does not rest. The true statement, I listen to my higher self. Well, this is a reading about your higher self. So time to listen to the high self. It says, look at each story that repeats itself in your mind as a stranger would. Ask yourself, is this true? Remember I said you're believing in some projection, some illusion. Okay, and I was really getting it from this lion with this like elephant trunk. I feel like you're seeing in your mind's eye, or you're understanding in your mind about who you are and what the outside world means. And when it doesn't align, what that means about you, it means you're lacking confidence in your ability, or if it lacks if it's not reflecting back to you as success, it's like, I'm not confident enough in myself to have success because I've experienced disappointments, and then I believe that illusion, you know. And so this is just a projection. There is no past that's impacting this present moment unless you want it to impact this present moment. You have the power here. Okay, so we have arborovite. I don't know how to say that. Arborovite with flow. Trigger statement, why are things such a struggle? True statement, I am in the flow. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Release your need to do and just be. So I don't know if you're trying to convince your world right now by wearing a mask. Okay, now I really want you to sit with that when I say wear a mask. It's like, if I have to put effort into the energy that I'm embodying here, then it's not my truest authentic self, because my truest authentic self can just respond in the moment naturally. It doesn't have to plan. It doesn't have to go in its mind. It doesn't have to like think about what it's going to say and how it's going to respond. All of that is masked energy. There's something about being guarded with this mask that we wear for protection, but really we're just projecting a version of us into this present moment. And so your higher self keeps talking about, to be in the flow is to be responsive with what is in this moment and allow your heart to be open to it. There you will find the truth. There you will find the appreciation. There you are already whole. There is how you integrate to that true self of you. Okay, and how you consolidate this version of you that wants to come online. Okay, and the more you sit in that, the more comforting I feel it is going to be for you. But I feel like the discomfort here is experiencing loss and the same thing, and feeling those disappointments repeat themselves in your world. And that will continue to be a projection until you call out that projection, you call out that illusion, and you have the power to do that right here, right now. It doesn't have to go on and on no more, this belief or this story, okay? So you're creating this pathway right now, and you could stay in the same energy, or you could create this pathway, okay, by, again, it's not forcing yourself to be what you're not, but creating this pathway is allowing a different energy to submerge from you that might feel scary, you know, especially if it's like coming online for the first time. Even if it's your more natural state, it's scary because the natural state has always been guarded, has always been trying to protect itself, has always been sort of hidden. There's this need to trust this version of you to come online, this version that could be like more vulnerable, more honest, more open from the heart. Okay, I feel like for this group, I don't know, it feels like I'm having a very challenging time sort of channeling this energy. I'm going to pull two more of this. And if it's not clear, I might pull some tarot to see what am I missing. But let's see, Spirit, can we ask pile two's higher self, but what is the guidance and the advice here then that we might be missing? What is the guidance and the advice for pile number 2 that hasn't yet come through here? We have eucalyptus with rest. No, not rest. I can't read. Reset. Trigger statement, I am sick. True statement, I am alive. It is time to embrace a new way of being, one filled with health and freedom to create a new reality. what did I say? I feel like there is this like version of you that's going to be of service here when you're allowed to, when you allow yourself to be authentic, when you allow yourself to get involved in your world, in your reality as an authentic self. This is the reset you're needing here. I feel like you have to embrace yourself and not reject that version of you. There's a version of you you're rejecting. And I don't know if you just feel it's not worthy to come online, or you feel like it's experienced too much disappointment in the past, so you'll just keep it sort of hidden. But then this is why you're experiencing more disappointments, you know, because you'll never feel like you're embraced. They'll never feel like you are comforted by those around you. You'll forever feel on the outs and not whole and not complete. And there's might be like an understanding is like, unless it's perfect, or unless I'm like completely fitting in, then I'll allow myself to be like this or like that. But that's an illusion. There is no perfection. There's just the you and the authentic you, and that is perfect as it is. Okay, so massage, and it says ease. Trigger statement, I have to make this work. True statement, I am at ease with life. It says you need to ease your grip on life so that it can lead the way. There is an outcome brighter than you can imagine. That's this play energy, like I said. I don't know if you're like really rigid and fixed on some story understanding. So needs to allow oneself to be flexible enough to take things in a lighter way that, you know, if you're like thinking, I can't engage unless I'm perfect or I know exactly 100% of what the outcome will be if I say this or do that. There's too much projection about what could happen and what the outside world is going to think of you, which may not necessarily be accurate at all. And then in that anticipation, it sort of dictates how we respond and how we react and what we say and what we do. Okay, so your actions should not be predicated on what you think another might say or do, or what you think an outcome can be. It should really be responsive to that present moment in reality, with that ease and that playful energy and that open heart, because your heart won't make the wrong call. Okay, wrong in quotes. So we have neroli with unity. Trigger statement, I am unstable. True statement, I am aware. You are strengthening the connection between your energetic and physical bodies to help you manifest your goals. Yeah, I feel like your goal still seems far away for you. Okay, but it's this instability I feel you're creating by this belief. So I'm just going to pull some tarot here just to see, what did we miss here for pile 2? Is there anything that it needs to come out for pile 2 that was not channeled here? So I do feel it's very choppy for your reading here for some reason. The Knight of Hearts. So this is how we show love. Again, the vulnerability, opening up our heart, being able to express how we feel, and trusting that when I am moving from the heart space, when I am communicating with my world through this act of service, okay? Because when we are being completely authentic with our feelings and pursuing how we feel through way of words and actions, then we're telling the universe what matters to us, and we're aligning that vibration. Okay, but when we're guarded, or when we're inauthentic, waiting for situations to sort of mold themselves, they'll just continue to match your vibration. So I feel like there's something here about your understanding about how to give love. And I also feel like maybe you're protecting your own. There's something about defending or protecting your own position of understanding when it comes to expressing love or showing love. Okay. And so your higher self is saying there's no need to guard anything. There's no need to be protective of anything when we're truly at ease with who we are and the truth of who we are. There's no threat. The only reason we'd feel threatened is it's coming from internal. So we must spot the threat that's in there, which is generally a thought, a projection, an understanding we're hanging on to, okay? Ace of Cups, Ace of Hearts. So hearts. So again, a lot to do with the emotions here. This is an emotional new beginning. Okay, this is trusting ourselves to fill our cup and learn about self-love and self-worth. Let me see a Sacred Heart here. Okay, so all about forgiveness, unconditional love, compassion for other. So through forgiveness, through compassion for other and self, this is how we fill our cup. This is how we become authentic. This is how we can have an emotional new beginning. Okay, something about self-worth, self-value, filling our own cup so that we can have a new beginning in love and experience how to express love and move with love. Okay, I say love, creation with the heart. Whatever's calling to your heart space here. Okay, the Knight of Spikes, which is the Knight of Swords, and he's in reverse. So Knight of Swords in the reverse could definitely be retreating, not confronting, and it could even be like an energy here that maybe feels like well, it's the fastest moving knight in the tarot, and so we might feel like when we're asked to move quickly and in some way, we might feel threatened. You know, it's like I feel threatened to engage because it feels almost like putting you out of your comfort zone to go with the flow or react and respond to current situation, circumstance. And so maybe we pull it back into the mind. We start to project. We start to want to understand, you know, before we can explore or explain or engage. And it's like your higher self is saying, this is actually a protective mechanism. This is actually an avoidant way. This is actually not confronting what it is you're being called to do. Because in this instance, you're being called to flow, open the heart, trust, let oneself be receptive and engaged in a way, though, that when you're present with with what's going on in the present moment, then you're actually more receptive. But when you're coming with a preconceived understanding of whatever's happened in your past or an experience here where you're creating projection, you're actually not receptive to the present moment. You're reacting to what's in your mind and the projection of what's in your mind. It's not to what reality is here. Okay, so I don't know if like you avoid or you, let's see, why is this Knight of Swords here? I do feel there might be a tie to pile one, so you might want to go watch pile one. But why is this Knight of Swords in the reverse? Is there like an avoidance here, or the World in reverse? So I think we just fear getting too deep. We really do. And I feel like we might pull away, you know, or it's like instead of letting one dive in fully 2 feet in, it's like maybe when things start getting very heated or when I'm made to confront this part of me, I shut down or I protect myself or I act in a certain way. And I feel like your higher self is talking about, in order to fully experience the full meal deal, okay, the full experience of something here, there's a need to fully go there, confront it, allow yourself to be engulfed in it, experience it fully. Because running away or avoiding or not confronting, or if it feels like it gets too much too fast too soon, it's like you can't fully experience filling your cup up, because it'll never get to the point of true vulnerability, true experience, you know, like truly experiencing yourself. It's like all you'll ever really experience is just your projections and your own thoughts about what it could look like and what it might look like and what fears might happen when you plunge into experiencing that. Okay, so I do feel maybe that didn't resonate for all of you guys, but I do feel like the bulk of the message that your high self is talking about here is this inauthentic version of you that might really cling to a projection of who you think the outside world is going to celebrate and appreciate. And when it doesn't, you feel like a disappointment, like you are attached to that experience and it dictates your value. And that's far from the truth. Okay, you're not your experience in that way. You are the truer inner light. And so the longer you sit in that energy and output that energy, then the more your outside world is going to reflect back to you a truth that you can actually feel and experience. Okay, but it's asking you to do this first. Okay, and if you're unsure of how, again, the spirit of gratitude, being grateful for what is right now and leaning into that feeling will allow you to open up. Okay, pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 3, you guys picked the Ancestral Path Tarot, and we're asking Spirit to allow us to tap into your higher self in regards to what you're needing to hear right here, right now, whether it be guidance, advice on your current situation, circumstance, or confirmation about what you're needing to hear, an immediate message from your higher self. Okay, so pre-shuffled oracle cards, I've not looked at them. We're going to pull 3 tarot cards or more, whatever pulls through here, and we're asking exactly that, Spirit, through pile 3's higher self, what are they needing to hear right here, right now? Guidance, confirmation, advice, whatever it pulls through here for their message today, immediate message. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for being here. I'd like to thank your higher self and your spirit team, my higher self and Spirit, for this act of divination today. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to put the tarot down here. So for those of you guys who skipped the intro, for the month of February, I will be offering a promotion. I'll put the information below at prairievintagejewelry.com. Enter coupon code LOVE22222. That's LOVE and 5 2s for your discount of 22% off of all readings and all jewelry. It's store-wide discount for the month of February. I will be closing all private readings for the month of March. Okay, so December 26th, this discount will close out. So let's take a look. We have Lake, number 11, What Lurks Beneath. 11's a master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. We have Endless Possibilities with 38, which is another 11. 11 here, very divine number. That's my twin flame number 2. If some of you guys are on a twin flame journey, it could symbolize this is your pile. Okay, Endless Possibilities, star. I'm getting Aquarius energy. Also with all the 2s, we're getting Pisces. Okay, High Priestess could definitely talk about a divine guidance here, and also some Libra energy. Okay, and then we have Let Go with number 16. Okay, so more Aquarius energy. No, I don't know why I said Aquarius energy. Cancer energy. Okay, interesting. And then we have 45 with oneness and the crown chakra. I had to write on these cards because the chakra colors weren't matching or coinciding with the traditional chakra colors. So this one's like a white color. So we got crown, 45, or the number 9. Oneness, wow. And let go. Okay, and then we have inspiration with the number 3. And then we have, oh my goodness, 3 naked people here. I'm going to cover it with this card. It says, Destiny. It is not in the stars, but in yourself. Number 14. Only when you are empty Are you at standstill and balanced? Joy and sorrow. Wow. Only when you are empty are you at standstill and balanced. Okay, and then we have the 2 swords. Talk about standstill and balance. Wow, 2 swords. So we had 2. Okay, the 1 and the 1. And then the 1 and the 1, which is a 2. Interesting. And then we have the 7 cups. Let's look at the divine couple here. Okay. Divine masculine, divine feminine. And then we have the 8 of swords, and it is in reverse. So let me sit here with your energy and channel what your message is. Beautiful pile number 3. You guys can click on the timestamp to take you to the channeled message. Okay, pile number 3, you might feel as though you might be at a standstill right now, or like maybe even like feeling a block when it comes to what you're capable of doing or moving or manifesting in your world. It might even feel like, I don't know, if some of you guys are like working on a book, let's say this feels like maybe it's creative writer's block, you know, or maybe it just feels like at your point in your life right now. It's like, I don't know what's next for me, or what door to open, or where I should be going, or what I should be doing, or there's something about finding your calling or your purpose and maybe really feeling almost like, I don't know if it's just the things not feeling right, or there being like, even you having certain understandings about whether you're capable of moving on or forward, or opening that door, or exploring that realm, whatever that opportunity or potential thing is. For some of you guys, it could even be like in regards to a relationship, because I am getting for some of you guys, this could be relationship based. Okay, but not for all of you guys, but it could be like, who am I supposed to be sort of maybe involved with, or the right people I'm supposed to be engaged with, or like, there's a lot of questions regarding which way to move forward, how to move forward, if you're supposed to be moving forward, and when will these doors open, and what are your opportunities and your potential. And so your higher self is pulling through here with, it's not about outwards, but inwards. And so there is this, like, it sounds cliche, but it's really about this inward journey of plunging into yourself. Because I feel like the more reflecting you do within here, your higher self is saying there is something that becomes very visible to you that does speak to your calling or your purpose and your direction. So your direction is going to be very visible and clear to you. And it could be that maybe it has been clear to you, but maybe you felt restricted or limited for some time. I'm not sure where this restriction came from. Maybe it was just the universe. For whatever reason, it felt like all doors were closed, or no way to go. And it's like, there is this understanding that comes through you, but it comes through you from sitting with yourself. There's like a vision. Some of you guys might see it through your third eye. You might see it through your dream. You might get it as a download here. Okay. But it's like the next step, or the doors to open to head towards this purpose. Now, like I said, some of you guys might have already sort of had a vision or an understanding. Maybe it was like an understanding of the relationship you wanted, or the work you wanted, or the book you wanted to write, or the something you had an understanding, but you felt like you couldn't move, or what options, again, what choices you had. And maybe it just felt removed from you. It's like, I don't have any agency over direction, or can take action on this thing. And so there could be a process of having to really well, one, your higher self is talking about plunging inwards, okay, reflecting inwards and doing that, but then this letting go. And I don't know if it's letting go of certain beliefs about what you're capable of doing and not doing, okay, that's been limiting you, but also maybe once you reflect inwards, there's a better understanding of what in your outside world you might be needing to part with. Because maybe there's been parts of our world that have been sort of around us for whatever. They've been there. We've created it. And maybe as security or just a part of who we thought that we were or that we needed around us, so certain relationships or people or even maybe where we live or how we live, okay, or job. Like there's something here that I feel maybe you've had a difficult time accepting a truth. Some of you guys might have felt like, how can I release this thing? Because then I wouldn't know how to move forward, or this is the thing that I need in order to get to my security or to prop me up or where I pull my strength from or something. But I feel it's not truthful. Okay, not that you're trying to lie to yourself, but it's not truthful because I think you have to see and understand the validity in which that thing in which you're telling yourself. And so it could just be a belief that you've carried, that you've been conditioned or programmed to believe about who you needed around you or why you needed to hang on to a certain way of being or slash a 3D material comfort or situation or resource or person or relationship. And so why you've been still or why you've been sort of kept at bay or feeling like you couldn't see the next door to open is because there was a need to really fully sit and connect to self and know that you're all that you really need here. And so some of you guys might have stripped away a lot. A lot of your outside world might have fallen away, like your outside world could be completely different. And I don't know how long you've been sort of reflecting or healing, because this does seem to be a healing journey and it does seem to be inwards. It does seem to be plunging in the depths, and you've been navigating the depths of your soul. Maybe you've been doing a lot of shadow work here. Like this does seem like a pile that's been really reflecting, healing, diving into one's emotions, and maybe still feeling like the 3D world is sort of stuck. Okay. For some of you guys, you could be getting a lot of messages, like I said, through dreams, downloads, 3D or third eye visions, or through like animals is really coming through here. Okay. Specifically, it could be cows. Okay. Or bulls. Okay. But I feel there's a big thing here about healing and shedding. And so I feel like the internal world had to shed and the external world had to shed. And so this has been maybe what you've been doing for who knows how long you've been shedding or sitting in this energy. But endless possibilities, 7 cups. This is all about choices, opportunity, potential. Okay, 7 cups is also this fantasy dream of some vision of an ideal sort of dream that you have. And we see the star here. And so I feel like your higher self is saying your dream is able to come true here. Okay, but there was a need to align your energy and releasing to make space and really becoming centered here through the stillness. Need to get balance and really hone in one's energy here to feel whole and complete before this purpose comes through, or this experience, this next door, this next chapter opens up. Because I don't know if there was lessons learned and maybe giving away your power, or maybe having an experience where, if let's say this is a relationship or even a job, it's like my value is derived from that, my 3D world or that specific person or that specific job, and it's like this understanding has been, no, I am whole without this 3D thing in my world, that I am already complete without any added thing. And maybe this has taken you some time to really understand this and believe this, because I think your higher self is saying, as long as you believe that something out there would create your wholeness or add your value, it was like restricted from you, or it wouldn't open up, or you couldn't move towards it. And so maybe there's a relationship that you were really wanting to experience in your world, of a balanced union here. And it's like your cup needed to be full. You needed to be whole. You needed to let go of understandings that another could fulfill you or bring you some form of satisfaction that you couldn't find already within yourself. And so, yeah, I do feel there was a plunging deep within your own self, getting very still, getting balanced, and connecting to this part of you. And then what comes online here is this inspiration to which door to open, which way to move. I think it becomes very clear here to you. And maybe it's always been sort of clear, but how to get there, or when the right time to move, or how you could, like, it did feel like you were restricted by some understanding, or limitation in your world. It's like, I can't move, I can't take action on it, I can't speak my truth or claim it until I strip away everything that needs to go. The letting go and all these like naked people here, okay? Only when you're empty are you at standstill and balance. So oneness, balance. Look at how balanced this card is. So there was a need to get very centered, connecting to one's wholeness and releasing what is just a belief, taking up space, but really limiting ourselves. And so with the destiny even coming through, there is this, with the star, there's this purpose, North Star. And it could be a destined relationship, job, place to live, 3D world experience, okay, that's coming through. And I think you're going to see this door open very soon, okay? And you might already be seeing it, glimpses of it, okay? But let's see. Spirit, for pile number 3, what is their higher self wanting to pull through with their guidance, their message? The higher self for pile number 3. What is the guidance and messaging right here, right now for pile 3 regarding their current situation or circumstance that didn't feel right? What is the guidance? I feel one more. I do feel there's actually one more coming through. Thank you, Spirit, and thank you to pile 3's higher self. What is this guidance? Okay, we have Jasmine, passion, that's this inspiration. Trigger statement, I am scared. So we might have had some limiting thoughts. Okay, but the true statement here is, when I am vulnerable, I am at my strongest. Reconnect with your feminine energy and pursue something that ignites your fire. Open the gates of your fortress and explore. Again, this endless possibilities. There's like a world out there, It's not limited to one sort of thing. And maybe we were too fearful to explore the unknown at one point in time, or just we lack the passion or the drive or the fire. And it's like, now I see how to aim in that direction. Okay, integrity with cardamom. So it says trigger statement, it is their fault. The true statement is, my thoughts are the cause of my suffering. As emotions arise, go within to see what stories and memories are fueling them. Then release what is not serving you with gratitude. So again, like I said, there's a release of an understanding, or a release of an experience, or a release of person, place, thing, okay, that we might have believed made us who we are or what we're about, okay? And so we could have really suffered with that understanding, because that was a misunderstanding. It's not who we are. And so releasing that was creating space, releasing those things that no longer serve you in order for the new to come in. And maybe you had a difficult time releasing from that, letting go of that, or the deconstruction again of this tower energy that was needing to fall away. So this might have taken some time, but we have integrity here. And then we have will with ginger. Trigger statement, I am a victim. True statement, I am powerful beyond measure. You are strong and capable with gratitude, optimism, and action. Manifest the life you deserve. So action. This one's very still. I feel like you haven't been able to take action on your vision. Okay. I also feel like there's a lot here about gratitude, because I do feel like we might have been very much feeling like, yeah, this 8 swords is like victim to or circumstance or situation where we feel very limited and restricted. And it's like, you're not limited, you're not restricted. There is agency, there's an ability for you to take action. But as long as we carry those beliefs and that understanding, we felt weighed down by it, and it might have really suffocated our will to drive and to have agency over ourselves. It's like, this situation has power over me, this is the victim mentality. And this is like, I'm powerful beyond measure. I can move towards whatever I need to and make decisions here. I'm free to make decisions here. Okay, so frankincense with enlightened. Trigger statement, I am alone. True statement, I am one with all that is. Wow, oneness. So you guys are really connected to a whole sense of oneness. Maybe you've balanced your masculine, your feminine here. Maybe you've been very dependent on relationship, an external, or an external validating person or circumstance or situation. It's like, I could strip it all away and be in my strength. Okay, so it says, dear child, you are safe and loved as you continue on your journey of self-exploration. So again, there's that deep sense of exploration, going within and stripping away everything that doesn't serve you or weighs you down, especially when it comes to beliefs about yourself or what you need to have or what you're capable of doing and not doing. Okay, peppermint with inspire. Wow, inspiration. Okay, trigger statement, I am stuck. And the true statement, I am filled with possibilities. That's this beautiful, endless possibilities. 7 cups, inspiration. Wow, this is beautiful. So if you guys have been feeling really lackluster or just, I don't know, feeling like no sense of direction or there's no purpose, this is coming back online here, okay? That's what your higher self wants you to know. So inspire with peppermint. Allow yourself to float up above any thoughts or emotions and see what is needed for you to process them and move forward. Yes, so releasing what doesn't serve you so you are free to make different decisions. Okay, and then we have topical here with harmony. Trigger statement, I am boiling over. True statement, I allow myself to feel. Give yourself space to decompress and take time to nurture your body, mind, and spirit. Allow emotions to surface and release. So something else about feeling emotions. Where was I? Where were we reading that? Yeah, go within. As emotions arise, go within to see what stories and memories are fueling them and release what is not serving you. Okay, give yourself space to decompress and take time to nurture your body, mind, and spirit. Allow emotions to surface and release. So I think you've become this master of releasing thoughts, limitations, unwanted emotions, shedding certain things here, becoming very centered and balanced. Okay, and then these doors open up for you as you release. And I think you get more and more aligned with your purpose and your destiny here, which, like I said, for all of you guys, it is different, obviously, because we all have a different purpose here. But I think you know, or it's coming to you if you're unsure. Because for some of you guys, maybe it was like, where do I go? I'm not sure. It's not coming to me, my purpose. But I feel like some of you guys might have a very good understanding that there's potential or opportunity that maybe you were wanting to pursue, but felt very stuck or limited or at the mercy of like a standstill here, like you couldn't pursue it. Okay, and some of you guys, like I said, could be a relationship or just the balance of self allows you to drive something more successfully here. Okay, do we want a sneaky peek as to what this could be about? Maybe. Let's ask. Spirit, can we get from pile 3 higher self just a sneaky peek as to what is this North Star and anything that we've missed here for pile number 3 regarding this beautiful message that their higher self is coming through with for pile 3? Can we get a sneaky peek at this destiny Now, we might not get very much specific messages here for this destiny because, like I say, we're all sort of on different paths, but there might be a messaging here regarding this destined purpose or this possibility that opens up. I just feel you felt very stuck to a certain thing, you know? It's like it all opens up for you, really, what I feel. And like you get to choose, you know? Is really what it seems like. You get to choose now. You're not at the mercy of your situation or your circumstance. Okay? 6 sword. Yeah, you move out of that 5 sword energy. Is freedom, liberation, no longer at the mercy of challenging thoughts. And look at, there's only one guy here. Okay, so I feel like it's a lot of your own internal beliefs, your own internal dialogue or thoughts about yourself. It's like you really had to find yourself and make balance out of chaotic situations here. 8 of Wands. Yeah, moving, breaking free. And also the 8 Wands is like all of these wands are going to land somewhere, you know? And so one of them's bound to land right in the center of whatever target here. So I do feel like your movement, your ability to break free, okay, for some of you guys, it is travel, but it could be just like, yeah, like aligning yourself with a different workplace or a different community or like breaking out of a stagnant situation, circumstance, or relationship or mindset that was keeping you limited with your options. And it's like one of these wands is going to land on your North Star and your target, okay, because they're all sort of moving in that direction. Yeah. It's also the card of communication here, okay? And then we have the Page of Staves, which is the Knight of Wands, and he is in reverse. So it's really showing you couldn't explore unless you broke out of a current state. At the end of the day, you've been slowly but surely moving out of a state of mind that has been very limiting. It's been restricting your ability to take action, you know, agency over your own world. And it's kept you feeling very, very chained to something. And it's been very challenging for you to have freedom or to even move towards a direction of anything that feels lively or feels like your purpose. And so I feel like whatever was slow, whatever was stuck, is now going to be moving very, very fast here, because I feel like what has been slowed right up or stopped is your ability to have the freedom to explore new doors, new opportunities, new relationships, new things that actually excite you. You know, it's like I can't explore this because I'm too busy dealing with this other world of mine. It's like you don't need to be chained to that world, you know? And I feel like it's like moving through molasses because I feel it's been very, very slow. And so it's going to go from very slow to very, very quick. Okay, some of you guys might get a communication here, like maybe a job offer comes in, or maybe a new relationship comes in through a communication with maybe a stranger, maybe whatever this communication comes in way of format. Okay, will open the door to you being able to explore a certain part of something that actually gets you up in the morning, fires you up. I feel like it's, yeah, it gets you up, it gets your heart going, and maybe you just felt very chained, restricted, you know, like where's my life force? The life force is coming through here, okay? And I do feel like you feel more balanced, more whole. Your passion comes online. I feel like a lot of you guys might feel more enlightened with the fact that you understand yourself and what you want more, because you're more reflective, or you took time to reflect and to shed what wasn't you. So it's like, I know what I want. I know the direction in which I want to go. And even if it's not precise, it's like, I know I want to move to this location, and then many doors open, you know, or I know that I want to be free of this job, and then you open the door to other opportunities. I feel like a whole bunch of things are going to open up for you when you make a decision, or when you finally free yourself from that in which it has been sort of keeping you hostage here. Okay, or feeling like it's been hostage. It's like you have to strip everything away and release it in order for you to be able to be free to move and explore what is out there. But I do feel your fire is coming back online, and I do feel like your lack of, I don't know, it's like maybe some sort of mindset that you had, or beliefs that you had, or lack of belief in self, or you're telling yourself you couldn't move, or it was not the right time, or I don't know, whatever the story was. Okay, I feel like you free yourself from that understanding. And that's the biggest sort of justice you could do here for yourself, to break free. All right. And feel there's liberation too with all these birds. You know, birds again with communication. There could be an influx of communication coming through, like very suddenly. You know, maybe a bunch of job offers, and maybe a bunch of relationships, maybe a bunch of invitations to go do something, or like, I don't know, for some of you guys, there could be a bunch of travel in the future here for you. And it's like, you get to explore all of these different worlds. And it's like, now I get to see what opportunities are out there, so I can choose a direction to explore further. But it finally opens up. All right. Pile number 3, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. All right. Bye-bye. Pile number 4, you guys picked the Clarity Tarot, and we're asking your higher self to come through here with a message in regards to what you need to hear right here, right now. It could be guidance on your current situation, circumstance, it could be confirmation, or whatever you're needing to know, immediate message. Okay, so for those of you guys who skipped the intro, I will be having a discount at prairievintagejewelry.com. I'll put the info below, where you enter code LOVE22222 in the coupon code at your checkout to receive 22% off of all private readings for the month of February. Okay, I won't be doing any readings for the month of March. It's a store-wide discount. If you're interested in vintage jewelry or anything off my website, then enter in that code. It does expire February 26th. Okay, and then I will be shutting down all private readings for the month of March. So, beautiful angels, let's take a look at what your higher self is wanting to come through here for you. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. Spirit, can we ask pile 4's higher self to come through with what pile 4 is needing to hear, right now? And I'd like to take this time to thank your higher self, my higher self, our spirit team, spirit guides, and of course, Spirit, for this act of divination today. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, pile 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. What is pile 4 is needing to hear right now? Knight of Wands in the reverse. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4. Please protect me and pile 4 and their journey as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. Is it a card that's flipped around? No. I thought there was a card flipped around. Having a challenging time coming out here. So those two are together. All right, let's take a look at your oracle cards. So we have C with plumbing the depths. Oh my goodness, some of you guys might resonate with pile number 3. Number 8. So we have some Leo and some Aquarius energy. And then we have number 2, Old Crane Woman, Guardian of the Threshold. Wow. Okay, and then we have 41, a higher view. This owl, so I'm getting some Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. And also some Pisces energy here with this too. Okay, and then we have mood, 21. Mood. And then we have number 4 with grounding. And this is the root chakra, although I know it's yellow. This deck, the chakra colors don't really align with the traditional chakra colors. So yellow in this deck is the root chakra with grounding. I'm hearing some alarm go off. And then we have, I'm going to have to go turn off that alarm. Yeah, I'm going to go turn off that alarm. We'll be right back, okay? Oh, I guess it turned off on its own. All right, so we have 29 with seeing the true you. And she's reflecting in here with all those lily pads. Okay, 29, or the number 11. 11's a master number. Divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. And then we have 8. So now we have 2 8s. 88's a master number, a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. It says, all you have shall someday be given with giving. Wow. That's beautiful. So Knight of Wands in reverse, and it says love and money in the bottom there. And then we have Emperor in reverse, love and money again. Okay, but I think it's like your message for love and money. So here, love, it says enjoyable, uncommitted affair, and money, take the risk. Action is favored, but it is in reverse. Emperor, love, stable, mature, love with loyalty, money, success in business or legal matters. It is in reverse. Yeah. Yes, here too. So except, Ace of Wands in reverse, love, new love, joy, creativity, money, and new creative projects. And then the Page of Wands, love, playful, honest relationship, and then money, new skill, or investment. Okay, let me sit here with this energy and begin to channel what your message is. Although I do want to read this Old Crane Woman because I do feel there might be a message here for us. In this book. So it says, Guardian of the Threshold. It says, in Celtic mythology, cranes are associated with old women. They guard the treasures of the other world and the entrances to otherworldly abodes like the heron. The crane's ability to move between water, land, and air makes her a symbol of shape-shifting and magic. She's a powerful and liminal bird who acts as a guide to those who wish to travel through the borderlands. In the course of any journey, will arrive at one or more thresholds which separate one place, one world from another. They are transition points into new ways of being. And all such thresholds have their guardians who ensure that those who approach are equipped for the crossing. The guardian of the threshold isn't necessarily a menacing monster who might bite off your head, but she's not to be messed with either. Her judgment is final. You're either ready for this new adventure or you're not. Old Crane Woman is something of a contradiction. She has the wildness of a bird, but the steadiness of a wise old woman. Her decision about your suitability for the challenge ahead will depend upon how you approach her. The chances are she'll have a test for you, a question or a riddle to solve. But the guardian of the threshold isn't your adversary. If you're ready for the crossing, she's the one who will show you the way. Old Crane Woman, if you ask her nicely and are sure to pay your respects, is your soul guide. In this card, she invites you to step forward to answer her questions about your readiness for the journey ahead and to reveal to her the essence of who you are. Wow. Okie dokie. Let me sit here with this. Okay, pile number 4. Remember what I said, this could be your energy around you. Okay, apply it as you sort of see fit here. I feel like this is someone embarking on a real journey of understanding oneself. It feels early on in this sort of a reading, okay? Now I say early, we could have been on this journey for many, many, many years, okay? Or we could be very old in age, but early because I do feel like we still haven't crossed the threshold. And the threshold is really the initiation and the understanding that we are meant to experience before the door can open to the next phase chapter of our world. And so I feel like there is an experience that you're being called to experience where yourself, okay, the truest version of you is going to be seen by you, and it's really being catalyzed to come online. And I feel like this is really about an awakening of sorts, because I do feel like, well, this doesn't necessarily have to be new, if I got to be honest. This could be an experience you're having in your lifetime that is new to you, but it's very different and foreign here, okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to be new on this journey so much, but I feel like there is, for all of you guys, this in which you're embarking is to fully understand yourself and to be able to expand your level of consciousness here through a wisdom, okay? A wisdom of understanding of who you truly are, going through an initiation process and working through seeing beyond the illusion of the material world. And also, I feel like there is maybe you having to feel like you have to sacrifice a part of yourself. There feels like giving a part of yourself or your world. So maybe you had to uplift yourself and let go of your worldly possessions, or yeah, there's some form of a sacrifice here. And maybe we were at the flip end of the experience where it felt like we weren't really receiving joy or receiving blessing or receiving the benefits of something. This is what it seems like. And it's like, what is this showing me? What am I experiencing here? And it was all for a greater purpose, because we cannot experience the joy without experiencing the sorrow. And so there's this need to see through the veil of experience, which I feel like for a lot of you guys might have left you feeling either empty-handed or like put you in a position of humanity. Maybe you had to be of service. Maybe you had to invest in something here with no guarantee or no promise of anything. That's kind of what it seems like to me, and maybe you just felt like you were put in a position where it's like, I feel like I'm helpless. I can't do anything other than partake in whatever the universe is sort of putting in front of me. So you might have had to really learn the process of surrender, which of course is part of this, this spiritual awakening, and this journey is all surrendering. What do you surrender? You surrender material possessions. You might have to surrender parts of self. You might have to just truly let go of everything that maybe you believe to be the creation of who you are. Maybe your identity. This could be a major ego death. And so I feel like you might have had to really lose yourself, but it really is losing the false self, because I don't feel like you were losing anything so much as what your higher self is coming through is what you're gaining. There's like a new, but it's like the existing version of you that was always there, okay, but without all of the maybe beliefs or egos or whatever of the past. And so there's this new version of you that does feel very youthful, but very much full of life, very much full of fire and passion and innocence here to explore. It's like you're being reborn into this world again to experience your life again, but living as a different sort of being here. But there are parallels to your other self. Okay, so your other self, or like some part of yourself, maybe just the core. It's like you feel like yourself, but more solid and whole. And now you're able to explore this universe from another angle, another view. This feels to me almost like it really feels like a rebirth, but like maybe even a midlife crisis, or like a midway, or like if you had one world where you were a parent and had a life, and it's like that whole world is shifted into you living a whole other world where maybe you were no longer a parent. Like, I don't, it feels like a whole different version of you that's coming online here. Okay. And I'm not so sure your high self is talking about why so much as it is the experience is going to allow you to receive a lot of blessings in this back half of what you're experiencing that maybe you're not expecting or seeing. Because I do feel up until now, maybe all you've experienced is disappointment, or again, this sacrificing of self, or this letting go of this other version of you, and then feeling like at the mercy of your situation or circumstance, which didn't allow you to create anything new. Okay, this is all fire in the reverse. So it's like the life force energy you had to be snuffed out. It's like snuffed out. And some of you guys might resonate with pile number 3, okay? Because there was some form of a passion that comes back online. And this is what I feel for you, is like a passion that comes back online, but now you're able to start anew, explore anew, and be innocent. And I don't know, there's like an honesty that comes online, you know, and the honesty comes from seeing the true you. It's no longer living from the fake you, or the egoic you, or the false you, or the you that created some world. And so I do feel like your higher self is talking about the universe blessing you with giving you. And maybe for the first end or first half of your world, maybe you had to give, you know, maybe you had to be like a provider. Maybe you had to be of service. Maybe you had to raise children or raise your family, or maybe you're the oldest sibling that had to take care of the family, or like some part of you had to be sacrificed, you know, to raise a family, or to take care of people, or to sort of, yeah, it feels almost like martyr yourself in some regard. Some of you guys, it could have been in a family situation, or in a relationship, or a provider. And it's like part of me, it was sacrificed, and now I can't get that part of me back. But there's this new, young, youthful, fun, joyful, innocent energy that comes online, and it gives you the opportunity here to experience living again, but now with the wisdom, because I feel you're more intelligent, you're more, yeah, you're wiser about experience here. You've already sort of plunged the depths, you know what you're about. I feel like there's something about getting very solid in your position about who you are and what you have to provide to this world, and what you want and where you want to invest. There's a lot of this sort of energy that comes through. It's like growing in a different way, you know? And it's like, maybe you never knew how deep you could actually feel, or how much you were actually learning from your experience until you're on the other side, which I feel for some of you guys, you're still navigating. Okay, but some of you guys might already be sort of, like I said, gone through this thing and coming out the other side here with a wisdom and a greater understanding. But I feel like the threshold is like 2 worlds, like an old world and the new world. And then the initiation process, which could have been a very challenging experience here for a lot of you guys. So let's see what your higher self is wanting to give you in way of guidance. For pile number 4, what is their higher self wanting to come through as guidance, advice for pile 4, right here, right now? in their current situation, circumstance. It says Cypress. Resilience. Trigger statement, I need to control. The true statement, I surrender. Yeah, was it your pile? I was saying a complete surrender. I feel like you are being asked to surrender a lot here, okay? Allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. Yeah, so you're definitely aligned. Your back half is pushing you towards what you're kind of meant to experience in this lifetime. Okay, but I think you were being prepped energetically, which was calling you to surrender a lot, you know, so that you could embark on this new journey. Okay. Enlightening. Arise. Trigger statement. There has to be more than this. True statement. I create my world. You are ready for a higher level of awareness and transformation, a higher view. Yeah, the initiation process you've been going through is opening this door for a new experience. Okay, so all of this for a new experience, a new life. Yeah, some of you guys are really leaving your old lives behind here, okay? So Melaleuca, it says evolution. Trigger statement, things will never change. The true statement, I attract only what is in my highest good. The imbalances and relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. Wow, transformation. Yeah, evolution. You're definitely on the other side or crossing this doorway into this new version of you that I really feel is more aligned with your highest good here, okay? So Lang with awaken. Trigger statement, I don't know what to do. True statement, every moment is a new opportunity. Take time today to engage your senses and create. The tension that has been dividing your head and heart is leaving. So I think your internal world might have had to catch up as well to this exterior world or this external world that has been aligning itself. Okay, but a lot of you guys have been awakened. It says arise. Okay, enlightening. Let's see, what does pile 4's higher self want to advise or give some guidance on for pile 4 at this time? Vitae. Flow. Trigger statement. Why are things such a struggle? True statement. I am in the flow. I think things are going from very difficult to flowing for you. I feel like they're going to be effortless here. And I feel like everything you've had to give, because I do feel there was a sacrifice, a giving, okay, when you had to surrender. And I feel like now you're being asked to receive what's coming towards you. Okay, true statement, I am in the flow. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Release your need to do and just be. And then we have protective with immune. Trigger statement, I am not safe. True statement, I am secure. Fill any areas of energetic weakness with strength. You can walk easy knowing that you are safe and protected. I feel like maybe your experience left you feeling vulnerable, you know, to circumstance, and where, like I said, you had to maybe sacrifice yourself and feel like without. I feel like your higher self is saying you are safe, you are protected, you are healing from, or have been healing from whatever it was here that you had to sort of experience so that you can know the flip side. It seems like a very difficult lesson here, you know, but it's like now feeling very safe, feeling very loved, feeling very seen, and feeling like the universe is giving to you and providing for you. Where in the past, I feel like there was a lot of you having to be the giver or of service or output energy. Okay, so very protected here. Now, I do want to see if your higher self wants to come through with any additional message here. Actually, I do feel called to do. Is there any additional message we missed here for pile number 4 regarding where they're headed here, or anything pile 4's higher self is wanting to come through with? The devil. So you were bound to some limiting, unhealthy dynamic. It could have been a codependent situation, feeling very restricted, very chained to a certain, like I said, it could be a family, a relationship, you know, feeling very burdened and feeling at the mercy of this thing. Okay, like no freedom to explore or to, yeah, codependency here. Okay, but I do feel you're being liberated from this devil. So we have Capricorn energy, the Five of Swords in reverse, exactly, being liberated from conflict here. So tension with others, and it could be situations where we just give and give and give, and it feels like it's a no-win situation, you know, where we might feel backstabbed or slighted or chained by circumstance here, which feels very unhealthy and feels very toxic even here, you know. It's like you're being liberated from this King of Cups in reverse. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm going to pull 3 more. So the King of Cups in reverse could mean a block to love. It could be, you know, people who are emotionally maybe not mature or not acting out of love. Okay, emotionally unavailable people, or people who are maybe acting more out of greed than they are acting from their heart space. This could have been your experience, maybe more materialistic than out of love and compassion. And I feel this is about to shift for you. So let's see, why is this devil here for pile number 4? The Empress in reverse. Exactly. So your self-worth is crossed by the Two of Swords. So was it you who got the Two of Swords? No, that was pile number 3, which you might have resonated with. So Two of Swords in reverse, like feeling, again, there's no way out, or what agency do you have, or feeling like maybe not knowing your own self-worth or being able to receive. I feel like there was an outpouring of energy, an inability for you to receive, for you to be loved or feel appreciated or welcomed or valued here. Okay, 10 of Pentacles in reverse. There's a family situation again. So feeling unsafe or unstable or ungrounded here even. So what about this? And we have the Six of Wands. That's the card of victory. Okay, success, being seen. 8 of Pentacles. That's the diligence, the diligent effort, energy we put towards our day in, day out. Could be the work card. Okay, the Star in reverse, Aquarius energy, and then the Four of Swords. So I feel like there was a healing here that was needing to happen. And so your higher self is saying, whatever you have been going through or are going through this period, okay, where maybe you felt very still or stuck or reflective, like you had no agency or felt very chained to your circumstance. It's like your high self talking about this work that you've been doing. Is that in regards to healing so that your alignment with your North Star, your purpose, which was blocked by your situation. So you might have been aligned with the wrong work, the wrong people, the wrong relationship, the wrong family, or building on some material world that wasn't aligned with you. And this was really needing to be seen by you and then healed, because I feel like breaking free from this took a lot of healing, or having to sit with the truth, or healing pain from an experience, which took great effort. You know, it took commitment, dedication. And I feel like wherever you weren't being seen, appreciated, loved, or given to emotionally, because I feel like there's an emotional, like a lack of emotional experience here. Maybe it was like love was taken from you, or love was not being able to be experienced, or you were only loved based on what you could produce or give. You know, it's like you might have been only producing the money, or producing the home, or producing the resource in which your environment was needing, and it felt very much, maybe you felt used or taken advantage of or abused in some way. And it's like, how do I create a new world for me? How do I have a healthier understanding of what I'm worthy of and what success looks like for me, and for me to be seen and appreciated and valued by others, and what I can do and be of service here, and do what I enjoy doing and be appreciated for what I want to do here. I feel like you've had to really sit with yourself, because I feel like you might have been losing hope, or you are losing hope, or you just didn't see how you could align yourself with that direction. It seemed too far away. It seemed unclear. It seemed like there might have been a need to really heal a lot of parts of yourself first, or understand certain things, or get very still. And so the high self is talking about this shift, okay, this initiation process, this crossing of the threshold. Whatever you've experienced here, it was designed like this and orchestrated like this for a reason, in order for you to be able to transition and from one place to another, from one world, which is your past life, okay, past life I say, but in this lifetime, because I do feel it's in this lifetime, you experience disappointments, lack, loss, okay, or just challenge, and it's totally flipping here on you, okay. It's totally flipping here on you, because I feel like you were having to sort of experience the upsetness in an area that wasn't meant for you. It wasn't supposed to be sustainable or long-term for you. You're not supposed to build there any longer. Okay, it's rejecting you, or it's just spitting you out here, because to stay there would be binding yourself to something that is just sort of limiting you, or keeping you feeling chained or held hostage or stuck. Okay, but again, like you giving and not being appreciated here. Okay, it doesn't feel like it's a very healthy environment. Okay, it feels very much like a toxic relationship or family dynamic or workplace situation, or where we had to trade one thing for another, but at our own emotional unsatisfaction is really what it feels like, It's like, because I wanted to be seen in a certain way, or appreciated in a certain way, or valued in a certain way. So I stayed there investing, but it was at the expense of my dream, or at the expense of my future. Okay. And so the healing is happening so that you can align with your purpose and your North Star. But I feel like there is needing to really connect to yourself so that you can navigate to this dream, or this beautiful new version of you that's coming online here. Okay, some of you guys could have been working through an addiction even here, okay, with all this red, this root chakra, and this devil. Okay, but in healthy habits and healthy ways of engagement, it could be stemmed from a lack of self-love and self-worth. And it's like, I can't build a future. I can't commit to anything. I can't build something sustainable or long-term. And I feel chained by this addiction or this vice, and it doesn't allow me to open up to connection or emotionally be available or explore. And it's like, now I can work towards the version of me that I want to be seen and celebrated, where I want to have success, and maybe it's seeing through our own ego, our own, like what we thought success looked like, or where we thought victory was held. And we might have started losing all hope in a future that would reward us with love or give us something. Because I do feel like you're going to be receiving, okay? You're really, really in a position here to receive. And if you're too blocked here and not able to receive, then this is why you're working through an initiation. It's like you are being prepped to be able to receive, because that is aligned with your greater purpose here. And that is what you're healing, So beautiful pile number 4. This is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. All right. Bye-bye.